Good evening, Baltimore. You've dialed into the midnight hour, and we're looking for that first-time caller. Tell me what your story is, and welcome to Moonlit Manuscripts. Hello, and welcome back to Moonlit Manuscripts. I'm your host, Melissa N. Moon. For our very first episode, I want to start off with a book that perfectly represents our podcast. There's something just so alluring about that cozy romance. The characters feel entirely human, and the plot is just, it leaves you staring at the ceiling and wanting more. And that's why tonight we're diving into First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. Whether you've read it a dozen times or it's still laying on your TBR, this is a grab that you're going to want to read and settle down in. Now, let's talk about why this book is an absolute comfort read. First Time Caller follows this brilliant, outspoken auto mechanic, Lucy Stone, a person that spent the last 12 years of her life dedicated to her daughter. This dynamic of mother-daughter that's very similar to that we see in popular shows such as Gilmore Girls. Lucy's world is comfortable, safe, and uncomplicated. In fact, the author herself actually compared this read to the classic Sleepless in Seattle. So the story starts off pretty simple. It's a mother, she's going around the house, making sure that everything is closed off, making sure that everything is safe for her daughter, and then all of a sudden she hears some whispering, and that's when her maternal instincts actually kick in. She actually catches her daughter whispering late at night over the phone under the covers to some stranger. Now, to Lucy, he's some unknown stranger, a voice in the night, but to the rest of Baltimore, he was actually the host of the popular Heartstrings hotline that you hear on the radio. Now, in my very honest opinion, this book I feel like is very, like I said before, Gilmore Girls coded, right? You have the mother-daughter duo that's fiercely loyal to each other and they love each other like no other. And then we have that grumpy character that just kind of seeps into the story, known as Aiden Valentine. Aiden Valentine has actually become very jaded in his life. He is, like I said, the host of the hotline Heartstrings. He is very remiss against love in general, which is very ironic given the fact of his career choice. So every night he's there preaching to the masses about love and all that love can be, or at least not anymore really. He becomes, like I said, very jaded about the fact. Once she intercepts a call between Lucy and the host, she actually starts to open up to him. She confides in him that she's actually very tired of the dating apps that we're seeing out there, but is genuinely happy and content with the life that she's led so far. That being said, she does open up to Aiden, letting him know that she's looking for that spark, that little glimmer of hope that any hopeless romantic actually looks for, right? So their conversation is raw, it's real, it's authentic, and like anything, it goes viral. Why? Because people can actually feel the authenticity that comes from what they're saying. And that's when the station owner actually hatches this plan of opening the lines for Lucy to join the call and create this new broadcast segment called Lucy's Road to Love. At its heart, this story is about vulnerability, finding the magic in the mundane, learning about how sometimes the very things that we protect are the ones that we actually need. What's really great about this book is that it gives you that early 2000s, late 90s vibe to it, which you see in a lot of rom-coms, which in my opinion, I love them. It's something that's light on the palate and overall very good for the soul. But as we love to do here at Moonlit Manuscripts, we're going to be actually diving a little bit deeper into the story. Let's take a page out of Lucy's book and look under the hood. See what I did there? Why the story actually works so well? That's the question that we want to know. First and foremost, it comes down to three main elements. So let's start from the top. Number one. It's very refreshing to see that Lucy is a mom. Often when you're seeing romances or reading about them, mothers are actually pushed into the background, but it's actually part of Lucy's core identity. And the writer actually does a really great job of portraying her, right? She isn't some tragic figure. I mean, after all, this isn't a Disney movie, right? She's just so focused on being there for her daughter, she's actually forgotten how to be there for herself. So what we're seeing here is the development of her character arc, or who she is as a person beyond that of mother-daughter. Being able to see her slowly grow into herself and desire romance, passion, and a life outside of her daily routine is actually validating, beautiful, and well handled. Number two, and it has to be my favorite. I'm a great lover of tropes, say enemies to lovers, There's only one bed, which I find hilarious. But my favorite has to be Grumpy Sunshine. I think it's because I relate to it so well. So the Grumpy Sunshine dynamic between Lucy and Aiden is so well done. Their chemistry is almost tangible. Because Aiden is so closed off and Lucy is a practical realist who's actually craving a little bit of magic, their witty banter back and forth actually creates a very funny and natural friction between the two of them. Honestly, how can you not create all this tension being shoved into a tiny, cramped, incredibly intimate radio booth? They start off showing it as a slow burn while trying to remain as professional as possible, and in the air, you can actually see the spark between them. The audience was eating it up. And finally, number 3 is the community. BK Borison does such an amazing job building this world to make it feel real. Whether it's the quirky interactions between Aiden and Jackson or Lucy's coworkers, which seem like they're all like 3 men and a little lady, right? Like they're basically her dad figures. It's real, right? It feels authentic. It feels like you can actually have these people in your lives. I mean, honestly, Lucy is very lucky because there's the unicorn of the relationship that she has with her ex-husband, Borison, and his current partner, Mateo. It's her found family, right? They were able to move next door to each other, co-parent Maya, all 3 of them together as a unit, and it feels very strong. Ultimately, First Time Caller sets the bar pretty high when it comes to contemporary romances. It's sweet, it's a little spicy, and it treats the characters with a level of care and emotional depth that is really hard to find sometimes. Stories with that Grumpy Sunshine dynamic, one that talks about single parenthood and is irresistibly cozy. This is an absolute must read. Now, I want to hear it from you. Have you read First Time Caller? Did Lucy and Aiden's story keep you up at night? Or did you want to switch the frequency? I want to remind you that if you want to hear more from me or my channel, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single chapter. Thank you for spending the night with me. Turn off that reading light, get some rest, and remember, keep reading by the moonlight.